So Castleton, get ready for that storm within the next 5 minutes. According to this, it's expected in the Castleton area by around 2:59. Fargo, this part of the storm, lifting up into Fargo by around 3:08. But a reminder, Fargo proper is not included in this tornado warning. That warning is just off to the west. It does include parts of West Fargo, including my own house. So Evan, if you're watching this, please get ready to seek shelter down in the basement. This is a tornado warned system. Harwood, 3:11, expect this storm to be moving in. If it holds together and keeps its intensity the way it has been right now, expect it to lift into the Hatton area by around 3:50, so about an hour from now. Mayville area by around 3:40. I need to adjust this. You can see these storms are cruising and outrunning some of my presets here, but let's take a look at the velocity within this storm. This is some of the spin that is within the storm. So where you see the pinks and the greens coming together, that's where we're seeing some spin. So just to the east of Kindred, we're seeing a little bit of that spin right along that tornado warned box. So be watching that very closely. And towards Middle River, we're seeing some of those pinkish reds and greens starting to mix. So that's where we're noting the spin within this storm. So within this entire tornado warning, you need to be taking shelter right now, but the areas just to the east of Kindred and towards Maple River, that's where we're watching for the most rotation right at this time. We continue to see this tornado threat, especially within the brown shaded area, and so far we've been seeing it right in southeastern North Dakota, but that's not to say that we couldn't see additional thunderstorm and tornado development in parts of Lakes Country. Just for now, we've been seeing that in southeastern North Dakota. So here's a few things to note. A few isolated tornadoes are still possible. So far, they have been radar indicated, being not observed by a human, but we'll continue to watch that very closely. And any areas that see some peaks of sunshine this afternoon, that helps to destabilize the atmosphere and is like adding gasoline to a fire for some of these severe storms to develop. So you need to seek shelter if you're in that tornado warning. Get to the lowest floor of a sturdy structure, away from all windows, and keep low. Find something to protect your head. If you are in a mobile home, an RV, or a camper, you need to find a sturdier structure. If you can't find a sturdy structure, find a place like a ditch or a ravine if you're outside. Lay down flat and be sure to cover your head. So we're continuing to watch this severe threat throughout the rest of this afternoon. All this area in yellow, we could see scattered severe storms, isolated tornadoes, and large hail up to 1 inch in diameter, along with strong and gusty winds. So I'm going to go back here, back to our tornado warned storm, and see if there's any new information on it. And just 1 second to load here. Looks like it has been reshaped within the last few minutes since I last showed you this. Still radar indicated. This tornado warning is in effect until 3:15. It is currently 2:58, so about another 15 minutes on this for Cass County. Still includes Castleton, Mapleton, Maple River, Kindred. You're now on the outside of that as it is lifted to the north of you, but you can see Mapleton, that's still on its way towards your area. Off to the west of Horace, that's where we're seeing some dark pinks and purples, likely some very heavy rain. I'm going to turn on the hail monitor here. We are seeing some hail in there. Our hail tracker is a few scans behind, so it's likely a little bit to the north, but within this, we're seeing hail, very small hail, so less than 1/2 inch in diameter, so not severe criteria hail, but hail nonetheless. So you might want to get parked in a garage if you're concerned about any hail damage within some of these storms. I want to take another look at what we're seeing outside. This is our Corwin Auto Skycam right on top of our station here in South Fargo. This is I-94 off to the west, West Fargo there, and you can see these clouds are turning very dark. Again, a reminder that Fargo is not in this tornado warning, but parts of West Fargo, Castleton, Mapleton, is included in the tornado warning. So here's another look at that. We're still seeing a very strong thunderstorm. Again, this tornado warning has been trimmed as this system continues to lift to the north. Again, it's moving fairly quick, about 55 miles per hour due north Fargo, we're still a ways away from that heaviest rain down near Walcott right now that is lifting north. So be prepared for some heavy rain, some strong winds, lots of thunder and lightning. But just want to remind you again, Fargo, we're right on the edge of that tornado warning. Does not include Fargo or Moorhead. We are seeing right on the edge of West Fargo, edge of Horace, up towards Maple River and Castleton. And I want to take another look at some of the track for where this storm is headed. Again, just the latest information here. Draw a nice little outline to the north, 55 miles per hour. There we go. West Fargo, expect this strong tornado warned cell within the next couple of minutes. 3:02. It's currently 3 o'clock on the dot. Oh, just switched to 3:01. So any moment now, this strong storm, this tornado warned storm headed towards the West Fargo area. Page, expect it by around 3:14. Fargo by around 3:15. Again, tornado warning is not including Fargo. Hillsborough, expect the storm by around 3:55. Mayville, 3:39. Hatton, 3:50. I'm going to talk to Lisa here. Lisa, are you seeing any new information that I should pass along here?
Nothing new other than they've trimmed the warning.
Okay.
I'm seeing on our river levels here that Crookston's, the Red Lake River at Crookston is going up.
Red Lake River at Crookston is going up. We're seeing a lot of heavy rain within these storms, so aerial flooding is a big concern. I'll bring that map up again to show where we're looking at some river flooding. And this is a very busy map, so I will turn some things off so we can just look at some of that overland flooding here. Give me just 1 second. There's a lot to look at and turn off. Oh, there we go. Might be easier if I just zoom in here. All right, you're seeing lots of green and there's lots of red. And that box is just pinpointing what's in the center of the map here. So observed flash flooding. We've seen lots of heavy rain overnight and into this morning, and those storms continue to lift to the north. So we're going to continue to see some heavy rain associated with these storms. Some areas have received more than 2 or 3 inches of rain. Again, lots of pictures and videos sent in to us. We love to see it. Please stay safe. Don't drive through those flooded roadways. But all of the areas that are boxed off in green, that's where we're seeing flood warnings. Again, this red is where we're in the tornado watch. And the pink box just to the west of Fargo is our tornado warning. But at this current time, I want to talk about these flash flood warnings. Again, very heavy rain. Overland flooding has been a concern since yesterday with some of these storms. And if you go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on the weather tab, we do have a photo and video gallery if you want to submit your own photos or videos of that flooding. And if you want to look and see what some of our neighbors across the valley are going through at this time. All right, here's what we're looking at our Corwin Auto Skycam. I'll step off of the way so you can get that full view. This is looking towards that tornado warned system off to the west. This right here is I-94 headed west. Those clouds are dark and they're looking kind of mean. So here's the latest on that tornado warning. It's currently 3:04. This warning continues until 3:15, so we've still got about 10 minutes to go on this current warning. It'll likely be reissued. We've been reissuing, or I should say the National Weather Service has been reissuing this tornado warning system since it's been down near Sisseton, South Dakota. So it has held its strength and held its volatility with some of that rotation since the North Dakota-South Dakota border. So let's zoom in here, get some more scope of where we are here. Maple River. That storm has now passed. The heaviest of the rain has now passed you, but it's headed right towards Castleton. You're kind of in the thick of it. Still getting ready to see some heavy rain, lots of thunder, lots of lightning. And speaking of lightning, that's what we're looking at right now. A lot of thunder and lightning within this storm. So I'll turn that back off. That's a lot to look at. But I do want to look again at the velocity within this tornado warned storm, which is the spin. All right, looks like we're looking at a couple spots of maybe some weak rotation where you see some of those grays. I'll point them out here. To the southwest of Castleton, right along I-94. You can see south of West Fargo. I'll move the camera. And out towards Horace. Now, Horace, you are not included in this tornado warning. At least the western edge of town is not included. But off to the east, outside of this tornado warning, is where we're seeing some signs of rotation. So we'll be watching that pretty closely for some strong winds, potentially some hail, and a little bit of rotation. So that reminds me, I want to look at the hail tracker yet again. And if you were tuned in the last few minutes, you may have seen that the hail sizes were a lot smaller than this. So let's get an idea here. Looks like right around half-inch hail, so still sub-severe criteria hail. But we're looking at around half-inch hail just south of I-94. And with our hail scans, they are a little bit behind, so we're likely seeing that hail now inching closer to the West Fargo and Mapleton area. So get ready for some hail if you are in that area. All right, another look here at the tornado warning. No new information right now. We are getting reports of river levels rising. We're seeing lots of aerial flooding with the heavy rain that's been associated with this storm. I want to turn on more this regional view again, because look at how absolutely dynamic this storm system is. So you can see right here where you're starting to see those storms kind of twist and wrap around. Right about there is where we're seeing the main low pressure. On the cold side of that low, blizzard conditions out in the western Dakotas where there's heavy snow, very strong winds. The areas in pinks and purples, we've got freezing rain and sleet. And then on the warm sector of that, as a warm front has been lifting up, then the storms have been firing. That reminds me too, I want to look at temperatures just to show you the dramatic difference of what we're seeing across the state with this very, very dynamic storm. So let me scroll down here and find temperatures. There we go. So with that warm front that's lifted up, the Southern Valley is currently in that warm pocket of air. There's a cold front down here, a warm front here. We're at 69 degrees right now in Fargo. But check out Grand Forks, 41 degrees. That's how dynamic the system has been. It's 32 out in Dickinson and Hettinger, 72 right now in Fergus Falls, 75 in Sisseton. So we're in that warm bubble of air. There's plenty of humidity from the rain that we saw yesterday and so far today as well. So there's a lot of ingredients to work with, a lot of energy within this storm as well. And I can show you that storm energy right here. So where you see those yellows is where there's plenty of atmospheric energy to help those storms fire off. And that right in this area is where we are seeing those storms fire off. So these are lifting to the north, and this area of yellow has been inching to the north as well. So we're seeing more and more of that energy lifting its way to the north. Let's look at this again, where we could potentially see more strong and severe thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. Anywhere in the yellow shaded area under that level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. So we are seeing that tornado threat currently for some isolated tornadoes. Strong damaging winds are still a threat, and hail to 1 inch in diameter. As for the tornado threat in particular, we're looking at any areas shaded in that brown is where we could see those isolated tornadoes. If you're curious where this tornado watch is, all of these boxes in red under that tornado watch still until 7 o'clock tonight. So we've got a few more hours to go with this tornado threat into this afternoon. So let's take another look here at our current tornado warning, and I'll time it out for you again. Still off to the west of Fargo. You can zoom in and you can see that West Fargo right on the edge of that there. There's my pointer. Right on the edge of Horace and West Fargo and points to the west. Still under that tornado warning until 3:15 this afternoon. Castleton, let's zoom in on you here. Looks like most of that heavy core, the reds and oranges, have now lifted to the north of you. Mapleton, right in the heart of it, likely seeing some very strong winds and heavy rain at this time. All right, I'm going to clear this and let's time this storm out again for you. Show you where it's headed. And I'm not just outlining the tornado warning, I'm outlining this entire storm. Moving to the north at, 55 miles per hour. There we go. Paige, by 3:16, that storm's headed your way. So in about 5-6 minutes, Page area, get ready for that heavy rain, lots of thunder, lots of lightning. You might already be hearing it and seeing it off in the distance. Hillsboro by around 3:35. Hope area, 3:29. And again, this is right outside of the tornado warning. This is set to expire here in 4 minutes. So we'll see if the National Weather Service does reissue that. For right now, that's about all the information I have to bring you. We'll continue to watch this very closely. Lisa, do you have any information to add that I might be missing?
Well, I just wanted to touch on those river levels a little bit more. They've been skyrocketing. I don't know if it's possible to switch to Max 2. I have some graphics pulled up on Max 2 to show what we're dealing with there. If not, that's okay. But we do have some river levels that are skyrocketing here in some parts of the valley. You know, we've been talking about those flash flood warnings, and those have been quite high in the northern valley. Here's a look at some of our river levels in Moorhead, Fargo Moorhead. We're at 1978. Looks like we just got a warning that's just been issued. This is not what we want to see. There we go. A warning that's just been issued that Summer may check on here in a second. But just a quick look at our river levels. Fargo has been going up fast. We're now at 1978, still at minor stage, and we'll top off at 22.5. Further up the Red River, we are going up to 3192 in Grand Forks. And notice the forecast here. We're going to be rising all the way into major flood stage as we make our way into the week next week as the river continues to rise with the waters that are certainly on the heavier side in the Central Valley and Northern Valley dump in there. Oslo getting close to record level as we've been seeing those numbers go up quite a bit, and we'll be into that major flood stage here next week. And I mentioned earlier the Red Lake River at Crookston. That is also an area where we're looking at the river going up high enough that we could be at a record here coming up for the forecast. So something to keep in mind. We've got a new warning in effect here. I'm going to show you that in a moment, but I do want to show you the Red Lake River at Crookston. Doesn't look too pretty, but I wanted to make sure I got it on the air. This is one that is also skyrocketing. Again, we're looking at major flood stage getting hit any moment now into the nighttime hours tonight, and eventually getting up to 28 feet by Monday, and that's close to a record high. And there are multiple rivers around the valley that are seeing a similar rise again. So something you can look for on our website, valleynewslive.com. Now, Summer, I know we've got some warnings that have just come across, so I'm going to toss it back to you here. You can see the warnings on the map. Might want to switch back to Max 1 if you can, guys, in the back, so Summer can go over that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you, Christian, for getting those switched so quickly. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is not a tornado warning, but notice that a tornado is possible. So still seeing some signs of rotation within this main storm system, but it is weakening as it moves into slightly more stable and colder air, if you caught those temperatures that I had just a few minutes ago. But radar indicated strong storm, so a severe thunderstorm warning now until 4 o'clock this afternoon. It does include Cass, Steele, and parts of Trail counties, including the cities of Harwood and West Fargo. We're looking for the potential for hail up to 1 inch in diameter and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So let me step off here and let's track the timing of when this storm will be continuing to lift to the north. All right, put it in the center there. Got to get some quick information to see what direction this is moving and still how fast. It is still moving to The north. There we go. Wind is 60-mile-per-hour gusts. The storm is moving now at 50 miles per hour. It's slowing down as it was along the North Dakota, South Dakota state line. This thing was cruising at about 70 miles per hour. Even down towards Kindred, it was moving about 55 miles per hour. Now it's moving at 50 miles per hour. So I'll just outline the northern edge of this, go up to 50 miles per hour. Paige, you're still right on the edge of that, getting ready for that storm to hit you. Grandin by around 3:27, Hope around 3:30, Hillsborough area by around 3:41, and Mayville by around 3:47. If it holds together and keeps this intensity, we're looking at it hitting the Northwood area by around 4:06, and the Thompson area by around 4:11. So I want to look at velocity again, the spin within the atmosphere. Not looking like a lot right now within this severe thunderstorm warning, and that is good news. And that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So currently, we're just looking at a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll get the latest information on this right here. I'll pull that back up for you. There it is. Okay. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado is possible, although at that last check of that velocity, the spin in the atmosphere really looks like it's losing its punch. Doesn't mean it's done completely. We'll be watching this very, very closely for additional signs of rotation, but it includes parts of Cass, Steele, and Trail counties until 4 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. We'll be keeping a very close eye on this, and of course the river levels as well that have been rising quite quickly. But for right now, I think I've talked enough, and you guys probably want to get back to your regular programming, but I want to make sure that all our viewers are aware of what's going on, especially this early in the season with severe weather when we were just dealing with winter weather a couple of days ago. And a reminder, we could be dealing with more winter weather for tomorrow. But for right now, I'll send you back to your regular programming.